Hey everyone, it's Tia, the CEO and founder of Black Women in Excellence. Welcome to the highly anticipated post-competition interviews with the winner and runner-up of BWIE second annual pitch competition. We just witnessed an incredible showcase of talent, innovation, and determination as Black women entrepreneurs from across the Atlantic provinces took the stage to pitch their groundbreaking businesses. Today, we have the distinct honor of sitting down with two exceptional women who truly stood out in this fierce competition. So without further ado, let's hear from a few of the brightest in the business world. We'll talk about their journeys, their strategies, and their vision for the future. But most importantly, we'll celebrate their achievements and learn from their experiences. Please join me in welcoming the winner of the BWIE second annual pitch competition, Blessing Owowa, and our outstanding runner-up, Fantanesh Atomsa. Welcome, ladies. Welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so happy to be here today. I'm really excited, and I'm hoping the viewers are going to like this too.
Okay.
So firstly, congratulations on winning the BWIE second annual pitch competition. Can you share your initial thoughts and emotions when your name was announced as the winner?
Yeah, that was a day I can never forget for the rest of my life because I was overwhelmed. Yeah, reason being that I knew I needed that at that moment in my life, in my business, but I guess I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for that moment. The tears couldn't stop flowing because I was excited. I was overwhelmed because everything I needed to use the money for is at the back of my head. So
I will say we knew you were overwhelmed. You never had an ugly cry, but it was like semi-ugly. And I was like, okay, yeah, she's feeling it. So we knew that you weren't expecting it. You were actually shocked. When they said your name, you stood there for a second. And then you looked and you were like, oh, it's my name. So it wasn't like you were like, oh, I'm winning this. You literally didn't have a clue.
Didn't. At best I was thinking probably because all the other ladies came out excited like after their pitching. So, but I felt that I didn't do enough after mine. So I didn't. When I saw the reaction from the other ladies, I was like, okay, Blessing, we go again next year.
Absolutely, and that's for all women. If you didn't win this year, you come back next year. Come back next year. Always keep coming back until you do win.
Yeah.
Of course, congratulations,
Thank
Fanny,
you so much.
on being the runner-up. Now, can you share your thoughts and feelings about your performance and the placement as being the runner-up? And I hate that term, but the term is the term.
It is what it is. To be honest, it was so close. Like I also knew that like how close it was, and for me, knowing that I was that close was like really validating because I was like, okay, like I did well enough. Like, I was right on par with the winner, and I did what I needed to do to kind of execute the pitch competition. So at the end of the day, my goals were reached, like in order to pitch for the first time. Like I've never pitched my business in front of anybody. It's not easy, getting that intimate, like dedicated time to get to know my business, because a lot of times we don't offer ourselves that time to like really work on it and to cultivate it, even though we should. And I did, but then the rebrand kind of happened. So this was like a brand new business. So setting that time aside, knowing that there was like an end goal was really, really valuable for me.
And I will say it was very close. And the judges will say that too. It was very, very close. And I want anybody who felt like they didn't do well enough that day, that it's not that you weren't well enough.
Yeah.
It just means that you two set the tone and was aside from everybody else. So I would love to see the winner, the women who didn't win or runner-up come back next year. Blessing did. She did it last year.
Right.
She did not win. She came back this year, won. Hopefully you'll come back next year
for sure
and walk away as the winner. And then it keeps continually go on like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for that, Fanny. So Blessing, what do you think? Like, honestly, what do you think set your pitch aside from everybody else's where you were the winner?
Okay, I think like she said about her business, For me, last year my business was 2 years, but I felt that because I was still doing it in my home, I felt that I didn't do the business enough the way I was supposed to do it. So when I moved outside my home this year, I felt that to me now it's a proper business. So I knew all the details I was supposed to know about my business. Like when I get home every day, I work on the finances. I literally like go through what's happened that day in the business and all that. So I felt that I knew my business better this year than last year. So I was able to talk about my business from without even, I would say that this year I didn't prepare enough like I did last year, but I felt that I was more intimate with my business this year than last year. So I think that showed probably when I was pitching that, okay, this lady knew what she was doing. And I would say that probably my progress from last year to this year also probably set that pace for my winning. Yeah, because there were lots of development for my business from last year to this year, like moving to a proper workspace, a studio. Also, I was interviewed by CTV. I was nominated for 2 major awards. So I guess all those achievements probably, let me say, made me win. And also, I won't take grace also for granted. Yeah, I guess grace spoke for me as well. Yeah.
See, you almost forgot your awards. That means you're getting too many awards. You need to slow down on awards. And it's the same thing Danny said, is being intimate with your businesses.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's probably a term that I'm going to start using, because people always say to me, Tia, how are you able to scale your businesses to have other businesses? And I never thought about the fact how intimate I am with my businesses. They are a part of me, you know. I eat, breathe, and, you know, the other word, every day, my businesses. So I'm going to take up that term you guys just wrote there and use them, or use that. Fanny, what did you learn from participating in this competition, and how do you think it will benefit your business going forward?
I would say, you know, that kind of elevator pitch. Do you know what I mean? Like when someone asks you, what is your business about? They don't want the long form version. They really just want like the short and sweet, like the impact. What do you do? Like how can you portray that in a way that's concise and really going to affect the listener? So that, I think that was like the big thing. The biggest thing that I learned, because we have our long, 13-page business plans, and we have, our pitch decks, and we have all these things. But if someone says, I'm a business owner or I'm an entrepreneur, and they ask, what's your business? What are you going to say? How are you going to engage that person immediately in a way that's not going to lose them?
Absolutely. And then you add on exactly what I'm asking you for. So there's no point of, pitching your business to someone, to an investor, and not saying exactly how much money you want from them.
Yeah.
So it just kind of put in, perspective of what your business is, who you are, what your impact's going to be, and how much money I need from you, sir or ma'am.
Yeah. And we had 7 minutes to pitch.
Yes.
And what, Jason, one of the coaches, was like, most times you have 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So even just working to condense that is like, was really a challenge, but also really valuable, because we get put in spaces all the time where people are asking you, like, what is your business? So how are we going to engage these people?
That is so true.
Yeah.
I thought about, BWIE's 3rd annual pitch competition being a 3-minuter. But I'm like, I don't think it's time for that yet. So I'm going to leave that 7 minutes most likely. So anybody listening, don't you worry. We're not going to do 3 minutes. Blessing, how was winning the competition impacted your business or your personal journey as a businesswoman, primarily a Black businesswoman?
Yeah, I'll just like to take it up from what she said. Like, my husband was trying to explain what the elevator pitch means to me, because I didn't know what it was up until last year when I went for it, because that was my first big pitch. The other pitching I was doing was the one whereby you do a video and you send. I've never done like a face-to-face pitch before last year and then this year. So it was like, okay, the concept is like, probably you're in an elevator with a CEO or like a prospective investor, and you just have 2 minutes or probably a minute to like pitch your business to the person and convince the person to invest in your business. So you should always anywhere you are, you should be ready to like pitch your business in a convincing way that people will want to support or invest in your business. So I would say winning the prize money has kind of boosted my confidence in a lot of way, because now I know, okay, I have the capacity to compete with great women out there, great business owners, and come out victorious. So that has really boosted my I won't lie, I was on top of my world that day. I was like, okay, Blessing, you can do it.
And by the way, to the viewers, Blessing's husband has always been a part of her business. When we're doing events, he comes, he sets out with her. He doesn't stay because he usually has the children. And the pitch competition day, he came by and the kids were with them. And, you know, a lot of us were like, oh, those are Blessing's kids, because we never had a chance to really see them. Because they're usually in the van sleeping. And then the husband, I said to him, she's going to be okay. And he was like, thank you, Tia, thank you. So he's a great guy. So you're very lucky to have that support in your life.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Fantanesh, how would you tell someone to prepare for a pitch competition? That's a big question, eh?
It is. And something that I think Jason was said as well, I want to go back to him because we worked really closely on the pitch practice day. You have to set dedicated time aside each day or each week or whatever the case is, and you have to honor that time. Like, you have to set that appointment. And there's no sense of leaving it closer to the day, because the amount of times your pitch changes, and I don't know how long we had, like a month.
August 19th. A month.
About a month.
4 weeks and 3 days.
Yeah, and I practiced probably like 3 times at the beginning, and then 5 times, and then every day, like near the end. And the amount of times that your pitch changes, you make little tweaks, and you have to time yourself and video yourself. Set that dedicated time aside. And the next big thing was to video myself. Wow.
Awkward. It's very awkward.
It is awkward, but it was really helpful because the timing was there. I could see how my facial expressions were. I could see how engaged I was with the video, or was I relying more on my notes. Like, I could really see how I looked. And then, it's awkward at first, but then you get comfortable with seeing yourself in that space. So taking advantage of as much practice time as you can, as much as you can. My name is Fantanesh, and I'm the founder of Sacred Lotus Holistic Wellness. We are a holistic health company.
Practice.
Yeah, for sure.
Blessing, can you provide some insights into some key takeaways or lessons you've learned throughout the pitch competition from last year to this year?
Okay, from last year to this year, I would like to say shout out to Tiffany, because I didn't have a one-on-one with her because of the schedules somehow tight, but I watched our pitch competition over and over again. Smart move. So that really helped me with mine. I watched it, so that helped us to prepare our my pitch deck, and also helped me to practice. So, like she said, I set out a dedicated time, like 30 minutes every day, to go through it. So I get I know it, I know every word, and that doesn't take away the fact that that day I still put down probably some important notes in my paper. So but one thing is that I was conversant with my pitch, so I knew what to say at what time to say it. So I guess that really helped me. And
I'll even jump on that. I watched so many pitches. I watched so many pitches. The ones from last year. I was on Dragon's Den, Shark Tank.
I always watch Dragon's Den. One is currently going on. I don't miss it every Thursday.
Well, actually, I will put a little plug in. One is I'm with the organization Rise out of Ontario. So one of the loan recipients for Rise, she was just on Dragon's Den. She does the teddy bears. I can't remember her business name, but she does the teddy bears.
I remember last week. It was last week. Yes,
and I was like,
she got
oh my God.
Really?
Like we just gave her a loan.
I think New Brunswick. I think that's where she's from.
So really exciting to see that. But those are the places you want to be at and watch in those type of events when you're preparing for a pitch competition,
Yeah.
or really anything when it comes to business, just watching that or listening to it while you're cleaning your house makes a huge difference.
You have
I
to,
bet
like,
you've done that.
Oh my gosh, you have to become like
That
borderline
does.
obsessive.
Yes.
Like you really do. Yeah.
Especially when you really want to win it
Absolutely.
badly.
Absolutely.
You have to like go the extra mile to prepare for it.
Yeah.
And this year's prize was amazing. You know, we had our sponsors from this year who already committed for next year. Like Tia, we're in again. You know, we have a little surprise from Patterson. We won't be able to unveil that until like the new year.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. Fantanesh, entrepreneurship often involves resilience and determination. Can you share a moment during the competition when you had to overcome a challenge? And what did you learn from that experience?
Like, oh my God, everything that could happen probably happened during that like pitch practice time. So that was another reason I was so grateful to even have the second place, because I was like, the fact that I could push through all this stuff that was going on, like was really validating for me.
Yes.
But yeah, we were in the middle of like a unexpected move, like, you know, with like kids, you know, trying to, you know, secure housing again in the middle of like a housing crisis, and then all this stuff with, you know, the rebrand, and like, you know, it was like I was living like day to day. Like most of my practicing was at friends' houses, family houses, in my car, like you can see from my pitch
Lives
videos,
and stuff,
lives, like, yeah, it was a lot of that. And, you know, you're like in the middle of kind of this like crisis, but then you still work full time, you still have children you have to take care of, you still have like, you know, the life just keeps lifing. It doesn't.
I like that one. Life
stop.
keeps on
Life
lifing.
keeps lifing. It doesn't stop. But I like, for me, it was a really big personal accomplishment to make it to that pitch day, and to like, you know, have this prepared pitch, and to really, you know, trust myself enough to set that, you know, be consistent and set and be so dedicated. Like I felt really confident and validated too, in that, like, you know, despite everything that's going on, I can still, you know, thrive and still put myself up there. Yeah.
And it's not easy because life keeps lifing.
Yeah.
It
does.
never stops.
Never stops.
In your opinions, what roles does diversity and representation play in the world of entrepreneurship? And how can events like BWIE's Pitch Competition contribute to increasing diversity in our Canadian ecosystem? Big question.
So you're asking, what does basically DEI mean within the entrepreneurship world? I mean, it's very personal for me, like, because, you know, to see Black women such as yourself and Blessing and all the women that were there, just to see us elevated and in a position of not only power but impact, like to know that there might not be spaces like this pitch competition for Black women, but you've went and you've created it. There might not be spaces for us like at, you know, certain tables or certain rooms, or to have access to certain opportunities, but to see a Black woman not only in these spaces but creating these spaces, it makes the world of opportunity just seem so like limitless. Like it just makes it feel like I can do anything, and I can also create room for people who look like me to also access these things. Like it's, you know, it's the collaboration over competition kind of piece. And this is new. Like people have to also remember that like we grew up in like the early 90s. Like I grew up in the 90s, where it's like you didn't, like, I remember first seeing a Black person in commercials, like in like, you know, regular everyday commercials, and I was like, this is odd. Like, do you know what I mean? Because we just weren't used to like that wasn't even that long ago. So now that, like, you know, we're in these spaces, and we're definitely not where we need to be for sure, but to have that ability to create the space again and to bring others along is it's invaluable. It's invaluable. I hope that's answered the question.
Yeah, it did. It's a great feeling. And I only put that question there because, I always want to know, when you're creating an initiative that's never been done before, how valuable is it to these women? Is it just about the money? Is it just about, them having their business on a bus or a billboard? Or is there other valuable pieces to it that we're not just unraveling, we're not talking about? So that's why I had to put that question there.
Well, how many Black women businesses are on transit marketing?
Well, there was one last year, Tiffany.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That was
kudos to you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was
absolutely.
great to see her. I seen her thing and I was like, I was actually in a meeting with the Halifax Seaport. So when I seen her bus going down Morris, and I stopped the meeting and I ran outside.
I saw it once and I was excited.
And it was bright colors and black, beautiful skin. It was great to see Butter Bar on there.
Yeah.
Prior to that,
exactly.
I've never seen it.
Exactly.
I mean, as a woman now, we have Family Over Fame had an initiative going on where he had a billboard. But again, that's not a Black woman. So I always want to ask the question so I get, what needs to be there. And if something's missing, if you would have answered a different way, I would have been like, I'm about to do something else now too, because Fantanesh says something's missing.
Yeah.
What about you? Or how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel so excited. So for me, I can't say I really understand the reality it was for you guys that grew up here. I grew up in Africa where everyone around me is Black.
Yeah.
So it was normal to see Black business thrive and all that. But coming here and reading about the marginalization and all that, I knew that it must have been very hard.
Yeah.
And even doing business for 2 years without support from anyone and all that, I knew that, okay, this is no joke. But all thanks to you, like I always say, you really inspire me a lot. You know why? Because when I see you every day get up to, despite the fact that you're not getting help from anyone, and you still give your all to support the small Black businesses, I knew that,
Thank you. That feels great.
Honestly, it does. Let's assume there wasn't someone like Tia. What would have been the fate of so many Black businesses out there? Because the truth is there are so many Black businesses, but because they don't have wings to fly, many of them just give up easily. But thanks to organizations like yours, you are able to say, okay, like I said, I saw the Natural Butter Bar. Our bus, and I was in the bus and I saw the bus pass. I was so excited. I was just screaming at the top of my voice.
When we first saw that, it was like a celebration for everybody.
It was like all Black women.
This is happening.
We were validated. When that bus went by, not just me validated as the CEO of Black Women in Excellence, but like for all Black women, for all our young Black children who can see this and are getting on the buses, and they know one day that they can have that possibility too, have their business on a bus.
And it goes beyond. Sorry, I was.
Are you crying, Blessing?
No.
Okay, just making sure. I'm
not, but I'm kind of very emotional. I'm very emotional. Little the inside.
It's a feel good day, girls. It's a feel good day.
And I was gonna say too, like, not only is it impactful for us within like the Black community and Black women community, but when we're trying to integrate and also normalize seeking out Black businesses for your services, for your products, these types of opportunities are invaluable. Like to be on transit and to be all across HRM and for non-Black communities to see it. And now we'll probably think twice about, I'm going to look for skincare products, or I'm going to look for this. They have that opportunity because now we're integrating and we're making it normal for other people to also see us as viable,
serious business
absolutely
women.
Absolutely.
That was bang on there, Lord. You guys took me to church this morning. I think for me, for the first pitch competition was very difficult to have people understand it, get it, because no one else was doing it for Black women. And the second one was a little bit easier. It wasn't as hard to get, our sponsors to jump on board and more people to want to be a part of it. And I'm hoping for all the audience that next year in September 2024, that as sponsors and funders and investors, that you guys decide to jump on board, because this is a worthy initiative. It's doing things like this. It's building confidence in Black women in business. It's building confidence in Black women who are mothers, single mothers, where their little daughters are watching their moms. start businesses and being successful. So I can't wait to keep doing the BWIE's annuals, pitch competitions, as long as I'm able to do so, health-wise and spiritual-wise and mental-wise, because this working in this realm sometimes leads to burnout very quickly. So
I would just like to say something before we close, and I got that was my take home from when Michelle came. She said something about preparation. That really inspired me a lot. So she talked about how although she didn't know how big she would get, but she kept preparing all the way. And when the opportunity came, it was preparation met opportunity. So everything just gelled together. So I would just like to inspire someone out there, or tell someone out there, just keep preparing. Because that opportunity, that's the story of my life too. I kept preparing, and when opportunities come, it's just as if everything will just work out, because you were already ready to be in that space. Absolutely.
Well, I'm not even going to ask that last question, because that was a great way of closing. I never thought of it until she said it also that night. Preparation. I think my whole life I've been preparing. You know, sometimes you stop preparing, you go back 10 steps, and then you get back on the horse and you start preparing again. But in the last 10 years for me, I wouldn't be where I'm at as a Black woman in business, coming from a low income, marginalized community, if I haven't been preparing, because I know something great is out there waiting for me.
And sometimes it won't even look like it. Like
doesn't.
Preparing for 10 years and it wasn't looking as if anything was happening. But when it comes, everything just look as if, like you were born for it. And that's because you've been preparing all along.
Oh, blessing. What about you in preparing? You feel like it aligns?
Absolutely. And it's and a lot of it is business, and then a lot of it is also life experiences. Don't negate your lived experiences as not being something that's going to also help you in the business world. Like when it comes to things like resilience and determination and consistency, if you can't practice that in your personal life, you won't be able to translate that into your business.
That's true.
So preparation, it comes both inside and outside of the business world.
That's true.
But I like that, how the preparation met with the right opportunity.
And here we all are. Preparation met with the right opportunities, and here we all are. Well, ladies, it's been great having a conversation with you as always. And unfortunately, Blessing, you can't come back next year for the pitch competition. But Fantanesh, my little Fanny, I call her Fanny, guys. I really want to see you come back next year, and hopefully you walk away with the great prize.
The grand prize.
Will be
I'll be a part for sure.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. There you have it, guys. I have been talking with Blessing, the winner of BWIE Second Annual Pitch Competition, and Fantanesh, the runner-up of BWIE Second Annual Pitch Competition. And if you are a Black woman in business and you would like to be a part of our next year's pitch competition, check out our website and follow our social media handles for updates. I am T. Upshaw, and until I come your way again, it's been a beautiful day to be a Black woman.